Hello and welcome back to the Overruled Podcast. Today we are being joined by Hadley and Destiny. Say hello.
Hello.
And we are being sat in by Avea and Avin. Got it right. Hey. And they may or may not be leaving, but they're just going to stalk us in the corners. I see you. So, how is everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
They can't see you shaking your
I'm
head.
doing pretty good.
That's good. So,
Just one of those days, nothing really happened.
yeah,
It
nothing
was
happened.
violently
Nothing
mediocre.
important happened.
Yeah, nothing important happens.
I feel the opposite.
Yeah?
Yeah? What happened?
Probably
Evan?
shouldn't share in order
Oh.
to save my fame, you know?
Alrighty then.
Okay.
So, Hadley, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 16, and I go to GM, of course. I'm a junior. I'm on the color guard team, and I guess I'm talking about feminism today, so that's fun.
Yes, we are here to talk about feminism today. And Destiny, about you.
Well, I just found out that we're talking about feminism. I'm also 16, I'm in percussion, and I am also a junior at GM.
Percussion game.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Alrighty then. And Nolan,
Yeah.
you're gonna be joining us. Avin is going to be creating our social
Avin.
media and joining us a bunch. So Avin, introduce yourself at least.
Say hi.
Hi, I'm Avin.
Alrighty.
Hi,
then.
Avin.
Welcome to the podcast. Alright,
So-
so first topic.
I don't know why you're pointing at me. Abortion.
Alright, jumping right in. Alright.
Right in.
Honestly, I thought the first topic was going to be feminism.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
actually-
let's see.
Let's- okay.
Let's start with that.
Can
So,
I ask the question?
go for it.
Alright, Hadley, what do you define as feminism?
As feminism, well, I know there's a lot that's like, girls are better than boys, but that's definitely not the case. It's like, I don't know, just being able to be respected the same way guys respect other guys. Yeah,
Okay.
equal.
What do you like? How do guys respect other guys that isn't afforded towards women?
Well, not all guys. That's the thing. It's not all guys. It's just some guys I feel like see girls as something to play around with instead of something to
Respect.
respectful conversations with.
Respect women.
Respect women.
And Destiny, what do you say?
Well, going back to what I think of as feminism, I think feminism is really just women respecting other women's choices. There's a lot of debate about what
Yeah,
you can or can't do kind of within different women's beliefs, and I think that really all women's choices should just be respected by other girls, and I think that's kind of what that is.
So
And
you don't really care what the guys think?
I think it's important that guys respect women and afford them the same respect that they would towards dudes. I agree with Hadley on that. But I also think that feminism started as kind of women empowering other women.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that we stick with that versus trying to put down men in the
Yeah.
ways that it often turns into.
Plus, I feel like we can't like be treated equally by men if we're all tearing each other down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, there's no way to get from point A to point B if we're all being assholes.
Like,
Yeah.
I saw something the other day. It was like, equality bake sale.
But then they charge men more than they charge women.
Exactly.
That's not necessarily
Yeah,
equality.
That's not
Yeah.
equality at all. That's just
Like, I don't understand the feminists who call for equality
Yeah.
and yet
Because they're trying to make themselves look good, but in
Yeah.
reality,
Yeah,
they
it's-
just...
They say they want equality.
Yeah.
But what they really want is to be superior to men.
So do you guys think that's the difference between feminist and what some people would call a feminazi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my opinion, yes.
Yeah, I think
I don't care for the term Nazi, but I mean...
Well, it's
you can
feminazi.
also refer to it as radical feminism is another
Yeah.
term
Yeah.
for it
That's
as far as
what
I'm aware.
I prefer to use.
Alright. So where's the line though? What point does it become radical?
When it's not equal anymore, when they're just flipping it and making it where men are looked at as less than women instead.
I agree with that. I think that when women turn it around and try to put men down for all the hurt that they've been put through by certain pieces of the male population because of that, it just turns into this bitterness and this kind of hatred and something that's really toxic and unnecessary. And
An eye
I
for
think,
an eye makes the whole world blind.
yeah, that was.
Ooh, I like that.
Holy
Oh.
cow!
Oh no, that's
Poetic as hell.
without wisdom.
Bumps for that shit.
All right, so now let's keep going back again. Anyway, let's go back to the equality bake sale that you guys were talking
Uh-huh.
about,
Yeah, I didn't
and
like
let's
that.
go.
I didn't hear of
Yeah,
that.
that's not good.
Let's
That doesn't look
go.
good on us.
Let's go to the wage gap. What are your opinions on the wage gap?
Oh, what is it? Every.
It's
I
like,
think
like
it's
every
78 cents
belief.
for a dollar.
Yeah, it's every
believed.
78 cents for a dollar, but like there's. Let me find it.
Time
Okay.
to find.
Well,
So, sorry.
No, go ahead.
For every $706 that a woman makes, a man makes 860.
that's quite a ratio.
That's quite a ratio.
Yeah.
So like I feel like 78 cents to a dollar is looked at as not that much.
Right.
But like
Mhm.
when you put it in. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
there have been lots of arguments about how like you guys would get paid the same if you did as good a job.
That's
like-
bullshit.
That I
Honestly,
straight up.
Yeah, that's.
I agree in some aspects that is true. Like, but the overall it's not true.
Yeah, well, it's one thing when you have a woman that just entered the field. She's at an entry-level job and her
But
salary is
same
less than
with
someone
men.
that's been in the field for 10 years. But once she hits the same levels of ability as her male counterpart in that same position, she should be paid the same.
Right.
There shouldn't be a difference because of gender.
Then in that case, you need to look at how much a man is getting paid for his entry level job with minimal training.
Right.
I agree.
See, the thing that really bothers me about the pay gap is the whole idea that why do men still have jobs if it's cheaper just to have women workers? Say a company makes $1,000 in a day and they give out $1,000 in a day to pay their workers. The men are getting paid $524 of that, and the women are getting the 476 rest of it.
Well, because
But-
of what you just said.
But if they're working the exact same and at the same grade, I'd get rid of that men in the equation.
Like
I
if
see
the
what
pay
you
gap
mean.
does exist, it'd be more cost effective to just get rid of the guys.
Yeah, it would.
That's true,
And
yeah.
that's the thing that really struggles my belief on the pay gap. Like, I want to believe it's there, because if everybody's shouting something's there and you're not looking,
You go
might
with
as
the-
well go take a
You
peek.
go with the mob mentality.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're saying it's there, so
There's a reason they're saying it's
they're
there.
this large group of people that they're all saying the same thing. Might as well.
But like from a business economy standpoint, if it's cheaper to hire women, why hire men?
Well, I think at that point you're just going down to the base of the system, which is probably pretty skewed. Like they're hiring men just because maybe they have this idea that men do their job better, which is why they pay them more. Which
Well-
I'm not saying is true. I don't actually think that's true, but I think at its core maybe that's why they're doing it.
Oh, I know
Well,
for a
That's
fact
what, like,
that isn't true.
that's what
No.
the bosses or like the
Like the
CEOs of the
right,
big
CFOs.
corporations think.
Well, I feel like it's more that when you go to hire someone, you're not being like, oh, well, their genitalia is this, so this is why I'm going to
You
hire
have a
them.
penis, you
Like,
get paid
like-
more.
I feel like that's where this conversation is going. But like, no, I feel like it's a lot more that, at the end of the day, they're getting hired based on their qualifications. But either way, women are still getting paid less, even though they have the same qualifications as men. And I feel like to radical feminists, it's looked at as, oh, we should get paid that much or more. But like to just someone who wants to be treated equally, it's more like you show you have respect for me by paying me the same amount you pay somebody else. And it's more the respect factor than the money factor.
All right, we're gonna get stuck on this topic of money if we don't move on.
So back to the very, very, very beginning.
Abortion. Let's go.
All right.
That's not a.
So
Let's
do you
go
want to just go around in a circle and
Just
say whether
opinions?
like
Just
pro-life,
opinions.
pro-choice,
I'm
that
okay
kind of
with
thing?
So let's like start.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Go ahead.
Are you?
I personally am pro-choice. I think that especially relating back to feminism in general, is about respecting women's choices, and I think that there are certain situations that it's healthier to not have a child versus put a child in foster care where they won't be adopted and maybe grow up in a system and wind up with different issues that might occur versus something where if you wait and then have a baby at the right time, you can raise a child in a happy and a healthy home where you're happier and so is your kid. And I think that that's a choice that every woman should get to make for herself.
Alright, Nolan?
I am also pro-choice. I believe that, it's their body, and, if it's a situation they can't control, like, if they're a rape victim, like, why should they be forced?
Alright, hold up. I'm gonna stop everybody right here. We are not gonna throw out the R word. That is out of the question. This is a pure pro-choice or pro-life. No R word.
But that's...
Okay.
Yes, I understand it's a big part of the argument, but then again, listening to all the other debates on this, it's like the only argument.
But like,
So,
it's,
like,
but
okay, I know there
there
are
have been
arguments,
other
though.
arguments
There have, but-
already that's
but-
already been made.
Let's just forget about
Yeah.
that aspect.
Hadley?
Okay, well, I'm of course pro-choice, which you probably guessed. But yeah. Well, I'm trying to calm Nolan down. It's okay. But yeah.
I'm gonna throw my chair.
Alright, so I believe everyone in this room knows I have very strong opinions about this topic. I personally was raised in a Catholic, very Republican, Catholic, right-wing household. And, well, my opinion, I am pro-life, right? I believe, like you guys were saying, my body, her body, her choice. I believe that it's not her body, it's the baby's body. Because it has been...
Oh, okay. I was like a little confused for 5 seconds there. I
I'm
was
like-
Yeah.
I was thinking like
Whose
Men
body
in Black
is it?
shit happening. I was like, what?
It's
Mine?
our body.
Yes, brother. Okay.
So communist propaganda.
So, according to the American College of Pediatricians, the predominance of human biological research confirms that human life begins at conception/fertilization. So, you wish to argue again?
No, you're okay.
So, that is my belief, and there have been many scientific studies written that prove that human life begins at conception when the sperm fertilizes the egg. Will?
I really hate sharing my opinion. I'm gonna be straight up honest.
Me too.
Not a lot of people know my opinions, but
Yeah.
I'm probably pro-choice in certain
factors.
circumstances and pro-life in others.
I
I don't know what the actual laws are in the state of Colorado, but I know some states have certain months, they grow fingernails at 14 days and they have a brain at
4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. I don't know if at the point that my baby has conscious enough to kick me from my womb that...
Yes, confirmed. Will has a...
No! Oh, never mind. It's still recording.
My thing is that I'm definitely pro-choice, but there's no way I could get pregnant because gay. But like, if I were to get pregnant, there's no possibility I wouldn't keep the baby. Unless, of course, the R word was there, then I would.
Yeah.
I'd be. I'd
All right,
probably
so-
be very emotionally torn apart, but
Yeah.
I would get rid of it. But like, the thought of doing that for myself isn't good. But like, I
Right,
feel like
so
other women should have that.
Hypothetically.
I paused you right there for 1 second.
Okay, so hypothetically, you're in a situation, you're in high school, you get pregnant, so it that has the possibility to make you drop out of school. I've had relatives, I've had cousins who got pregnant and had to drop out of school because they had to take care of their child.
I mean, that's why my mom dropped out of school, right?
Right.
I was born at 17. My mom graduated high school at...
You were born at 17.
I was born at
That's
17.
terrible
Alright?
image in
So,
my head.
I think wait, no, we're going to make a whole episode about my mom. So, my mom's story is interesting. That'll come at a later date, but I think it's important that I put this out there now. I do not respect my mother. Those of you that know the story know I do not respect my mother. So, yeah, she had me at 17. She was a student here at Green Mountain. She went to McLean. She dropped out sometime around senior year because I was born. But I guess I'm also at kind of a bias because my girlfriend has AFib, and I'm on a certain type of medication that causes birth defects. So I can't really have kids. So I guess I am kind of biased here, but I don't know.
Right. So would you prefer that your mom had you and had to drop out of school, or would you prefer that your mother would be given the opportunity to get an abortion and continue her education, perhaps like continue on to college, get a job, and then start a family at a later date?
I don't know, man. Like, my mom, if she had continued her education, she probably wouldn't be in a hospital bed right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but then again, I kind of enjoy life.
That's a solid point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There's the whole thing. There's a slippery slope, though. Like, a pregnancy at age 16 or 17? 17?
She was pregnant at 16. We did the math. I think you were with me when we did the math, and I was conceived sometime on like July 4th or something, and she was 16. So, my age,
there's a slippery slope that's already started, and it's the what if questions we have to ask in life, Hey, what if Devin did get aborted and...
Aborted?
Aborted? Isn't that it?
Is that,
Is
that
it's
what
aborted.
It's called?
Yeah.
I hate that. I don't like that.
So what if Devin did get aborted? Like, was there a chance that maybe he wasn't the only reason that his mom dropped out? Like,
that's true.
Because
she was a big druggie.
Yeah,
that could have been another reason.
Right.
There's
But
many.
there are extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Mom's case.
And there's also the thing of going back to the certain amount of time, pregnancy. If you're keeping a baby for 8 months just to get it aborted.
Well, just with my thing on that is that typically people who don't get an abortion within the first trimester, which I believe in most states is the legal
law,
yeah, you can't get an abortion past the first trimester.
Yeah.
People that legally
that's a new
people
that's
that
a new
get
law, yes.
people that get an abortion later, like in the later stages of pregnancy, usually have to because the baby's stillborn or it attached to the lining of their uterus, like it's dangerous to the mother, and that makes it a hard situation as well because you don't want to risk the mother's life to...
See, that's why I'm very torn on the topic, because safety is the priority. The living mother's safety is the number one priority. And even if you're pro-life and the baby's gonna be stillborn, that's not life.
Right. So yeah, Devin, what's your opinion on that?
I think if it poses a risk to the mother, then I don't know. It's a toughie for me because I was born and raised pro-life, right? That's my belief. I'm a Catholic, right? But like if the baby's gonna be born with like serious birth defects and like its life, it'll be in pain throughout its very short life, then I think you should just end its misery.
But not even that. Like, what if something happens and it poses a threat to the mother?
Yeah, if it poses a threat to the mother, then I think, the baby, yeah.
And I mean,
you go bye-bye.
Use that fetus.
My ovaries just cracked.
well, I mean, I agree that we should definitely focus on the safety of the mother, but what about situations where it's not about that? Like, I know that Hadley was saying that she wouldn't personally get an abortion, but I disagree on that level. If I got pregnant right now, I would definitely consider that as a valid option. I want to have time to finish school and go to college and be able to support a baby with the life that I want to have, because I feel like if I did that right now, it would kind of be not the quality of life that I would want for my child.
But the question is, would you be able to decide that in the first trimester?
I think I would. I think that I've made that decision now, that if I'm not ready to have a baby, that's the first thing I would do.
I wouldn't be ready to have a baby. That wouldn't stop me.
All right.
See, it kind of goes to show there's so many different shades of people who are pro-choice and pro-life.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely
so it's like the thing with these, like, just like one or the other arguments, it's so difficult because there are so many different opinions.
So many different reasons.
There's not opinions, but
but so many different reasons to believe in said opinions.
Right. And yeah, there are so many different, like, there's so many different, like,
You know the word?
I don't know the
Sides,
facts.
Yeah, no.
There's
Not
50
facts.
different shades of gray.
You know,
I think
there's so many different extenuating circumstances.
There
That's the
are.
word.
I think if we're talking about abortion, I think it's important to bring up the 6-week laws that were not too long ago passed in, I want to say, Alabama and Georgia, like some of the southern states with the 6-week
Oh
laws.
no, Alabama, they're like off the map. They're like, no abortion, it doesn't matter.
Well, either way, that kind of blew up as a huge thing on social media, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that because 6 weeks, 2 weeks from before that, you found out you missed your period.
Yeah.
And a period can be really wonky for some girls, and it's really hard to limit that to 6 weeks
there's
because
no way of knowing.
Yeah,
And it's scary.
and it's definitely really hard to think that someone could find out they're however many weeks pregnant and that they can't support this child and not have that as an option. And I think it's important to look at that and kind of weigh that and see what that really means as far as the term of pregnancy.
All right, so
Alrighty then.
ready to get into our next subject?
Yeah.
Gun control.
No. What?
Every single episode.
Every episode.
All right, fine. Not
Jeff
gun
has
control.
to
this time.
bring it
It's
up.
because I have excellent arguments against gun control.
Sure you
Okay.
did, bud.
Hey.
Alright.
All right.
One of these days, I'll do some serious research about it.
I
And,
will too.
like,
And we'll have like a
should.
three-way
I'll
debate.
come back.
Like
Three-way.
Ooh.
A three-way.
Alright, so you guys
No.
okay,
You guys
do you
got
guys
any
have any
topics?
topics you want to put up?
anything you not even feminist topics, just stuff you want to talk about. Like
I mean, I didn't prepare anything.
anybody read any good books recently?
I mean, yeah.
Fahrenheit 451.
Okay.
The funny thing about this,
Yes, the funny thing about Fahrenheit 451.
Okay, no spoilers though. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm through the introduction. That's where I'm at with the book.
Alrighty
That's
then.
still a banger. book.
Any other
best
books?
book ever.
Okay, the introduction's really good, and Neil Gaiman wrote it, and I'm
Yeah.
like hyped.
Honestly,
Alright.
Neil Gaiman, best author.
What'd you say the series was, or the book
I
was?
don't know.
Okay,
called?
so there's a couple. There's the Graveyard Book, which is just a phenomenal book, and then also The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Those are like my top 2 Neil Gaiman books.
Okay, how about just favorite books? Devin, what's your favorite books?
What's a book?
Alright, Hadley?
No.
Kidding.
My favorite book would probably be 1984.
1984.
Oh, it is a
really
good
good
book.
book.
Hadley?
I don't want to tell you my favorite book. Y'all are gonna laugh at me.
Do it.
We
No,
won't laugh.
you gotta
we-
tell us.
we
Well,
might
I
laugh
think
at
he's
you.
right.
We might laugh at you. You're taking a gamble here.
Yeah.
He's already laughed at me.
Come on.
Little Woman is my favorite book because I'm that person.
Because you're a little
I see
woman.
you. Feel so bad.
I didn't mean to bring a pinky promise. I'm sorry. You can cut it off.
But like, I
That's
just
all that
got finished reading a book called Alice. That's like a horror version of Alice in Wonderland, and that was really good. You wanna borrow it? It was amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
No.
This-
I
Alright,
loved
my
it.
my favorite book of all time is called Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Brosh. It's a really good book.
What's that
It's
about?
absolutely hilarious. You know, it's really funny. It's like, it's so weird the way it's done. Like the whole thing was like done on her computer. Like there's illustrations and stuff, but she's literally done all her illustrations in like MS Paint. But no, like what she does is she talks about like the different things that have happened through her life and how she's coped with different things, like depression, and like, you know, like different things throughout her childhood that has kind of shaped her and how she's dealt with all that stuff. And it's like, it's really interesting to like, it's her take on her entire life, and just like it's a way to like associate with her.
Yeah, Destiny.
For me, it's kind of tied between 3 right now. So, The Institute by Stephen King is absolutely an amazing book. It is so good. And then, actually, on the note of Alice in Wonderland, there is a book series called Splintered, I believe, is the name of the first book, and it's about Alice Little's great-granddaughter and how she has to break the curse of Wonderland, and it's so good. And then there's one other, and it's like a crime action type thing called Cold Fury, and she has powerful blue eyes, and it's my favorite book. It makes me really happy.
How about you, Will? What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, I wouldn't say I have a favorite book because I love everything he's written. F. Scott Fitzgerald is my dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
You laughed at me. Come at me, Will.
Scott Fitzgerald wrote the National
I didn't laugh at you. I only laughed when you said you are a little woman.
Wait, F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote the National
Yeah, but that's not what the book is about.
Who wrote that? I could have swore it was
He
F.
wrote
Scott.
Great Gatsby, but he's
Oh, okay.
Are you
Did you not
Such
know that?
a good book.
I
I'm literally
love
gonna get
more.
rich. I'm gonna get rich and I'm gonna throw parties like Jing
Oh,
and we're gonna play
the Great
swing jazz and
All
I
jazz
love
is
it.
swing.
Mountains of cocaine! The Great Gatsby is what inspired Will to do Fancy Friday.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Really?
It's more than that. It's the way that F. Scott Fitzgerald puts all his personal stories into his books. And not a lot of people know that. You actually have to kind of research a lot to figure this out. But he has a book called This Side of Paradise. And the book's about this kid and his psychopath mom. And his kid runs away and tries to live all these dreams. Anyway, the character, his mom, is based off his girlfriend. Like, the very first chapter, it's like, the girlfriend's chilling in a hotel. His mom is chilling in a hotel room and goes, "I'm so bored," and is so bored she has a mental breakdown. And that's something that his girlfriend actually.
Let's dye my hair.
Yeah.
I gave myself bangs in 5th grade because I was bored.
Oh, is that why you had bangs?
Shut up.
Anyway, like,
It's fine. I wear tutus and Converse every day.
Yeah, you did.
there's many more things like that. Once you know this stuff, it makes his book so much more personal than just something he wrote when he was bored because he was having a mental breakdown.
The greatest thing about F. Scott Fitzgerald and his work is like the amount of just pure imagery that he puts into his book.
Yeah.
And Great Gatsby, the book itself, there's a lot of colors, and of course, if you were in honors language or honors.
I don't think you even have to be in
You don't even
honors.
have to be honors.
You
It's
just
just
have to
like-
read the book
Yeah.
to understand
And,
the colors.
The best thing about it is they translated that really well in the movie. Like
True.
they did
It was
really,
really
really well with all the
surprising.
color in the movie.
Like
Yeah.
the billboard with the eyes in the movie. Like, I've never watched a movie and had it be exactly what I imagined. And when I saw the billboard, I was like, how?
Alright, so this has been a fun feminist episode.
Sorry about the awkward cutoff.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys for being on. We look forward to having you on again sometime soon.
And you have been overruled.